Hey everyone, this is Sam with Korean Association. Welcome to Candidate Corner. And here we record and get to know our candidates. And, we do this simply because we're the recipient of the King County Voter Education Fund grant. But also, we not only do we want to encourage, more voting and new voter registration, but get out the vote. And so a lot of times, like people don't really know many times who our candidates really are, their personal background. And so this is why we're doing this. And so it's on a non-endorsement basis. We're not really making an endorsement, but again, it's just for you to get to know our candidates, and then really you make the decision. And so, based on that, today we're very honored to have with us State Senator Claudia Kauffman. Hello, Claudia. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. She's our current state senator for District 47, and we'll have Senator Kauffman talk a little bit more about that. And she is running for re-election again for this election cycle. So Claudia, thank you again for joining us. And perhaps for our audience, maybe if you could just speak more about your background and perhaps also as our first ever Native American Indian woman of color in this position, uh, kind of speak to your background there and perhaps how you kind of sort of made yourself into this role initially. Yeah.
Nice, thank
Yeah,
you. And
of
thank
course.
you for this public service of providing this,
Yeah,
information
hmm,
session.
of
But
course.
Claudia Kaufman, I actually grew up in Seattle, South Seattle, on
Mm.
Beacon Hill,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, so I'm the youngest of seven children.
Hmm.
Very active family in the community. So knowing that and understanding that, watching my family be active in more at the civil rights movements and
Hmm.
looking at ensuring that we have, protections and civil rights and understanding. Um, Learning from that, I became much more active, but it also provided me opportunity to meet people and
Hmm.
to, once you start knowing people and meeting people, that provides you an opportunity to meet more people.
Sure, sure.
And of course, in Beacon Hill in Seattle is a very diverse community.
Right.
And and I thought everyone grew up in a diverse community because we were in such a diverse
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Well, I grew up in Texas in the
Oh, they,
80s
oh,
as a
they,
kid, so, I was the only one, but that's a
yeah,
whole other story.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't realize that, and I thought everyone grew up like that.
Okay.
But so I was blessed in that manner, and made a lot of wonderful friends, and
Hmm.
gained so much understanding of our diversity.
Hmm.
But it also provided a much more relaxed atmosphere in which you can share with one another your culture, your language, which was really good. And having that um, comfort zone of being able to be yourself,
Hmm.
provided much more confidence in speaking out or saying something and wanting to continue that. So, and my family being active, my father always talked about who was running for office, and so I would know the names,
Hmm.
and when I had an opportunity to
Was
meet
your father
them,
also in office as well? Or
no,
was he? Okay, okay, yeah.
no, but he was very civically engaged,
Right,
so
right.
that provided me opportunity, and
Hmm.
as a result of that, it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to meet these
Mm.
people who were elected to office,
Yeah.
and as a result of that, you meet more people, and with every relationship and every connection, it gets you further in, and so knowing and understanding that world,
Mm.
I felt comfortable, moving forward in
Yeah,
my journey.
I see. Great. Well, so currently as our state senator, District 47, and so that covers Kent, Covington,
Mm,
Renton, is that correct?
Auburn.
Yeah, and Auburn. Okay. Um, when how did you sort of did you start there as senator? Did you just jump right into, or did you have other kind of elected positions before that? And can you talk a little about that? And also like what sort of really inspired you? Was it mostly your
Hmm.
father or other reasons to just run in the first place? Yeah.
Thank you. That so growing up in Seattle, was great,
Hmm.
and went to public schools and did all those things. But about 25 years ago, I moved to Kent,
Okay.
and and being involved in Kent and knowing and understanding that felt I've always wanted to be involved in this area, and as a result of having that knowledge and understanding in the positions that I held throughout my years,
Yeah.
People would always turn to me like, well, so and so, or
Yeah.
senator or representative. And I'm like, sure, I can call them. But that led me to being in intergovernmental affairs liaison for the Muckleshoot Indian tribe.
Oh, okay.
So, and that put me further into that field. And so when I thought about running, I thought about it several years previously.
Apologies, is the chief Robert de Los Angeles is Muckleshoot tribe or
Snoqualmie.
oh, Snoqualmie. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I met
knew.
him recently, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've known that family a long time
Okay.
too.
Okay.
So, having those connections is really
Hmm.
good.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted to do. And as such, what I wanted to run is I went to someone like Ruth Wu
Okay.
and other people that I knew in the area, and I would say, if I wanted to run in 2 years, what do I need to start doing now?
Mm.
And so I would meet with her at least once a month to talk about what I've been doing, and she would give me advice, and you should do this or connect with that person, and
Right.
and then I'd include other folks in that conversation. And so when I did run, I ran for the state senate,
Hmm.
and I
You just went right in.
I went well, I met with the two House members, and I
Okay.
said,
Okay.
if you plan to run for the Senate, I would like to run for your seat.
Mm.
But if you don't,
Hmm.
I want to run for the Senate.
Okay.
And and I, some folks kind of patted me on the head and like, oh yeah, get your name out there. It'll be great, Claudia. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no. I said, I have a view of the future,
Mm.
and the vision that I have is I'm going to run and I'm going to win.
Mm.
And so I did. And my
Nice.
husband always says, well, you swing for the fence. First time running for office.
Hey, might as well. Might as well, YOLO, right? YOLO. Yeah. Okay, amazing. Now that's a really inspiring story. You just swung for the fences, went for it, and you got it, and you won. So that's great, and it's really inspiring for a lot of young people or just anybody who may be thinking about that and running. And it's also very, very, very important. And again, this is why we're doing this. And so, um, you know, it must have been really challenging. I ran as well, and so it's hard work. It's hard work. And so, what did you feel like with your American Indian background? Is it the Nez Perce tribe? Okay, got it. And are they local? Just out of curiosity, are they local to Northwest or?
It's in Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. Okay,
Yeah,
native to
right
Idaho.
next to the
Okay,
Washington border.
okay, interesting. Um, was there something that your background sort of also informed to your also running that you felt that, okay, here's how Claudia can best contribute to District 47? What was that? Yeah.
It was the basic values.
Okay.
And the basic values that we
Okay.
were raised with. We take care of children. We take care of our children. We have respect for our elders. Our elders play a very important part in our lives. We honor our military veterans.
Yes.
And we serve our community. And so having those basic tenets of serving community and moving forward really framed the work that I did. I grew up, as I said, in Beacon Hill. My mother was part of this nonprofit organization, a group of American Indian women and serving community. And so I would go to their monthly meetings, and they would actually put me to work and doing this or sorting these and organizing that. And so I would go do that volunteer work while they met. And so having that lifetime of volunteering, of working, of getting in community was important, so that we have this understanding that we serve our community. And the other thing that I learned was around the impacts of decisions made, that you want to plan for the future, and you want to make a promise to the future that these decisions are made with them in mind.
Mm.
And so, there are a lot of things that are done that really impact future generations. And so we need to keep that in mind. We need to be mindful of the decisions that we make and how they move forward. So those are basic guidelines that I was raised with.
Sure. So it's like foundational for you. It's
Mm-hmm.
the family and traditional values that you're raised with, but also being mindful of our next generation
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that we have something good that they can inherit in
Right.
the future. Okay, that's great. So I want to move to District 47, if we
Mm-hmm.
could, a little bit more detail. And so you grew up in Beacon Hill, and as a Seattle native, and District 47, Covington, Kent, Auburn, it's very, 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 very diverse,
Mm-hmm.
and so and it's wonderful, and it makes up the fabric of our community. And so, um, what have you? Can you talk a little about maybe your notable accomplishments in District 47 during your up until now as your time as senator? Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. When
Yeah.
and
And then I'll ask you for challenges too. So just get ready.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be great. No, the 47th is really diverse,
Hmm.
and it has a stretch of three cities of Kenton, Covington, and Auburn, and so
Yeah.
each has their own unique um, situations, and so wanting to work with them directly and being involved in community. Um, Growing up in Seattle, but living the last 25 years in Kent,
Hmm.
I became a homeowner. My children were raised in Kent,
Hmm.
and they went to public schools. Getting involved in the PTA and
Hmm.
going to those meetings and baking the cookies and
Hmm.
doing all those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
It continues. I
Right.
continue to get into community, get into volunteering, get into serving, and
Dr. Andy
recognizing.
Song is from Kent, and then
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he's one of our
oh yeah,
mental
yeah.
health advisor here.
Oh
Yeah,
nice,
yeah, and
yeah,
he ran there too.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, yeah. You talk
Yeah.
about Kent, so shout out to Andy.
Shout out to Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that with my children, and
Okay.
so then being in office, it's important to know and understand um, the inner workings of each of the not only communities but also of the city government.
Right.
And so city governments can often have requests for policy or for fiscal and budget appropriations.
Hmm.
So I've been successful in bringing home a number of successes in all three cities,
Hmm.
either involving parks, creating more parks in the city, or working on transportation projects.
Hmm.
Highway 18 runs right through my district,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you've driven on Highway 18
Hmm.
from
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Auburn to Interstate 90.
Yeah.
It's gone through a tremendous
That's on the way to Super Mall.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Emerald
So
Downs and all that. Yeah.
yes, and
Hmm.
Emerald Downs is in my district,
Okay, okay.
and
Yeah.
so that's the last horse racing industry in the
Yeah,
state,
amazing.
and
Yeah.
so many horse racing industries in other states are closing. They
Mm,
closed in Oregon, and the one up in
really?
Vancouver, BC, just closed.
Huh. Just lack of interest or
Yeah, it's really tough.
budgetary? Yeah,
It's really
okay, okay.
tough in terms of budget, and
Yeah,
new federal rules
I
also
see.
impacted the horse racing industry. So,
Sure, sure.
so yeah, I've been successful in bringing home a number of projects in like upgrade to their swimming pool
Right.
or the Indian American Community Center. We put close to
Hmm.
$1 million into their new
Oh, wow.
facility. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's been really good and bringing all that stuff home, even during some challenging times.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good segue. Um, maybe, collectively as you work together with the local government there, um, and maybe this is kind of like if you're running again to retain your current position as state senator, and so do you feel like there's still some kind of unfinished business
Hmm.
in District 47? And if so, can you speak to that a little bit? And what still, in your mind, needs to be kind of done in District 47? And yeah, is this also why you're running again? Yeah.
Yes, yes. In terms of um, the budget, the state budget. Of course, we have some challenges.
Okay.
Is a large budget deficit the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So for me, it's looking at how we can um, provide as much I don't want to say protection, provide some, some balance when we have, budget cuts.
Yeah.
And so looking at the budget cuts have been both revenue generating as well as budget cuts.
Yeah.
Because I was in the Senate in 2008 when the big, recession happened. And
Okay.
at that time, the legislature did an all cuts budget. And when you cut billions of dollars from the state budget, you impact families. It becomes very harmful in terms of what's available, because I believe that government needs to serve its people. And when you cut all those services, it's very harmful to communities. So the last 2 years, we tried to work on a balanced approach, which would be both budget cuts as well as generating revenue. And how creative can we be in the budget cuts? Some items that were cut this last session were actually not current services, but services we promised to do in the future. And so we said, well, we're not going to do that. That'll save us money. So it wasn't current stuff, but it's still a cut. And so, recognizing that as a big challenge moving forward. But it's important that we also support our communities and we preserve things that other folks would love to cut. And part of that is, our environmental justice project, our Climate Commitment Act funds that help protect our environment and help protect our communities who are impacted by significant, environmental industries. That we need to preserve that, because during a budget crisis, people are looking for money, and they can see money that, well, here's one for environmental justice, or here's money for the developmentally disabled, and we'll take that money and put it over here. And so it's important that we have that voice in the state legislature to say, no, we need to preserve and protect our developmentally disabled and preserve our communities of color who are impacted by these environmental impacts, that we need to make sure our communities are being safe and taken care of, and have the access to the education and the health care, ensuring that, immigrant refugee communities continue to receive access for health care and education. And so for me, it's really having that voice in the room. And as you said, I'm the only American Indian in the state Senate, and so we all know what it feels like to be the only person in the room. And so, and having that perspective, having that lived experience is vital to our communities.
It's just our core needs, our necessities. And with the current budget shortfall, it's like coming together to see how can we be creative about what to do about this. So that we can continue to provide just the day-to-day necessities that we need every day.
Right.
Healthcare, education, shelter, etc. Okay, great. Really quickly, maybe just for our viewers who may not know, the difference between the House in the state legislature, you have House of Representatives and then senators. So what's really the main difference between whether it would be House kind of responsibility or Senate responsibility? Where do you kind of draw the distinction in terms of the roles and responsibilities? Yeah. Does that question make sense? You just collaborate together, or
Okay,
are
so
certain topics more for Senate? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There are things that happen in the Senate and the House. So each legislative district has one senator and two representatives.
Right.
And that is very powerful in itself. And so as a result, the Senate has 49 senators and the House has 98 House of Representatives.
Okay.
We all have our priorities moving forward. The House and the Senate do work together in terms of having some shared committees, like education.
Okay.
But not all committees are exactly the same in the House and the Senate.
Okay.
And the makeup of the, like business can be in one committee, and then consumer protection can be in another committee. Well, in the Senate, because we only have half the amount of individuals
Yeah.
than the House does,
Yeah.
we combine much more things into our committees. So I am chair of the Senate Business Committee
Okay.
and Economic Development
Right.
and Trade, which also encompasses consumer protection. And
Okay.
so those kind of things. But we each have the opportunity to create and write bills and policies and propose budget provisos that are available in our own house. But they do have conference committees in the end that go to work out the differences and negotiate the budget, negotiate bills. And knowing that all these things that go through, we each have a limited number of days. Like this session this year was only 60 days.
Right.
And you have hundreds of bills that you need to be considered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, trying to fit all of that into the limited amount of time. Not all the bills, of course, are going to be successful, and
Sure.
not all policy requests and budget requests are going to be successful, but we do work together significantly to gain that spot.
Okay.
I guess there's a third, there's a third, pardon, a third, sorry, a third, it's the governor's office.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
the
Right.
governor's office needs to um, also be involved. And so knowing what the governor, is going to support, or I think he's made it known this last two sessions of some things that he is going to support or may have concerns about. And so we need to take those into consideration.
Okay. Great. Thank you for that clarification. Really quickly, as chair of the Economic Committee, and so many of our, especially the AA and HPI communities, many, I can speak to Korean community that many of us are small business owners. And so, costs are, many of us are struggling with costs, rising costs. And so as chair of Economic Committee, are there some things that maybe we can do as small business owners to ensure that we're kind of insulated and protected from rising costs? And maybe kind of what's your philosophy on supporting our small businesses? Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. That's a
yeah,
really great
yeah.
question. And that's
I think
something
it's very
that
relevant
is
for it. Yeah,
very relevant
yeah,
and very important in this climate, in this time. And as I had mentioned earlier, the budget cuts have been impacting businesses in a large way. And so looking at our budget deficit again this coming session, we know of at least $1 billion in budget deficit. It's important for me that I really, based on the way that I manage things, I try to be as much as strength based as I can, and knowing that we have strength in our community, we have strength, in all the things that we have.
yeah,
Knowing that we have that large small business community out there, one of the things I worked hard on was to ensure that we have some relief for the small businesses, and we did have, and it did pass, the increase of the B&O tax exemption for small businesses. So the tax exemption for small businesses had been 125,000. So the first 125,000 you don't have to pay the B&O tax on.
Okay.
So we doubled that to 250,000 in support of small businesses. And it's important that we look at businesses in that way. So for me, I want to grow the economy. I want to grow business, and we have some economic development growth, because that's where we're going to find our relief, is really looking at the economy. And so when we invest in economy, there are certain areas that need attention, and one of them is workforce development, and working with higher education, or even K through 12, and how can we increase apprenticeships or training, skilled training. The tech industry is growing fast.
Yeah.
The space industry is growing fast. Even in this valley here where we're located right now, between here and Auburn, there are over 200 businesses that are in just aerospace or space businesses. over 200 businesses.
It's not just SpaceX or
Right, no.
Blue Origin or
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not just Blue Origin.
hundreds. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hundreds that
yeah.
are in the industry
Mm,
around space and a space economy, aerospace. And they require, very technical, skilled workforce. And as innovation happens, so do the requirements. And so
mhm,
keeping up with that innovation is something we need to work with our higher education. I was recently with the aerospace and space manufacturers roundtable, and they
mm,
talked about how innovation changes the needs of not only the skills, but also of the equipment. So when the equipment becomes much more efficient, and then how you prepare that equipment means you need to prepare that skilled workforce.
mm,
And so this ongoing change requires, us to keep up. And when you invest in the skilled workforce, then you invest in the economy. And once you invest in economy, you invest in communities, and you invest in families, which creates um, the opportunities for families to own and buy homes
mm,
and have that generational wealth
mhm,
that we all want to have, for our children
mm,
and for ourselves to move forward. And so for me, it's a number of different things. It's going to take communication. It's going to take all these individuals, the industry leaders, the education leaders, and to come together and create how can the state make that investment in growing our economy. I had a bill that created a statewide economic development
mhm,
strategic plan so that we can do that.
mm.
So for me, it's really focused in on growing our economy.
Okay, that makes sense. So, you're an advocate for innovation,
Hmm.
entrepreneurship,
Yes.
and then investing in this. Yeah. Okay, great. So finally, you're active in your campaign,
Yes.
and you're going to be in the primary.
I think
Or
so. Yeah.
okay, yeah, primary. So do you have a website, and what are some ways that your supporters in District 47 can help you? And maybe just a word of encouragement to your supporters, constituents,
Yes.
in District
Yes.
47. Yeah.
Thank you, District 47 constituents. Again, Claudia Kauffman. I'm running for state senate, 47th Legislative District. My website is voteclaudiakaufman.com. If you'd like to reach out, email is info@voteclaudiakaufman.com. And feel free to reach out anytime. And I have ongoing work, being out in community, knocking on doors, making phone calls. Anyone who would like to join or to volunteer or to learn more, please reach out, info@voteclaudiakaufman.com.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Senator
you.
Kaufman, for joining. Everybody, that's our Senator Claudia Kaufman, District 47. Vote for Claudia.com, .org.
.com.
.com. And so most importantly, just get out there and vote. And thank you once again for joining us. And we'll see you all at the polls. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.